That was the question. Right. Okay. ها عملتوا ايه الكويستشن ده يا شباب؟ اللي قرا البوك ends اللي هنا whole of what? Of the introduction and we most probably we focus more on what? On the last sentence of the first paragraph وبعد كده first and last وبعد كده the conclusion. تعالوا كده بقى يا شباب. The central claim of the passage is that people who think things are ugly or beautiful are being shallow. طبعا it wasn't such at all. طبعا يا شباب artists should find beauty even in ugly things. وطبعا يا شباب ده كانت واضحة جدا في كل حاجة. كانت واضحة فين يا مستر؟ كانت واضحة يا شباب هنا في last sentence هنا لما قال for to the real artist nothing is beautiful or ugly in itself at all. وكمان في الكونكلوجن لما قال هنا ايه يا شباب؟ ها to paint what you see is a good rule in art but to see what is worth painting is better. See life under what picturesque conditions. Okay. وهنا قال له ايه don't wait for life to be picturesque to be beautiful but try to see life under picturesque condition. Okay. These conditions can create مش عارف what a good art. So artists should find beauty in ugly things. Okay. يعني that was very clear. طيب لو احنا رحنا هنا حضراتكم يا شباب ورحنا برضو احنا بنتكلم على البوك ends وتعالوا لي هنا في البوك ends يا شباب answer in your own words. هو الحدوته كلها هنا ايه يا شباب؟ As with all reading questions it is important to predict an answer before you look at the answer what options, particularly in what? In big picture questions. This will make you quicker at finding the right answer and will make it easier for you to avoid trap answers. طيب. We have already talked about what? About where to find the big picture of a passage in the book ends and underline this, the last sentence of the first paragraph. Remember this. A good way to come up with your big picture answer is to what? To think of a title for the passage or section of the question, the question asks you about. A good title tells the reader clearly everything they are about to learn. So when you read a part of a paragraph, come up with a title, with a good title. A bad title would only work for one part of the passage, but it doesn't work for the rest of what? Of the passage. Okay? Type. Here, I'm going to ask you now, try thinking of a title for this paragraph. And here, by the way, I don't need you to read the whole paragraph. What you need to do is to read this part. The first sentence of the paragraph, as we said, how to deal with the book ends, and the last part, which is this one. Read it and come up with what? With a title. Yeah, giving you time. Okay, if you want to come up with, if you are asked here يا شباب a question like what is the main idea? What is the central claim or the main or the central claim of what? Or the central idea of what? Of this paragraph. Try again to come up with a title on your own. If you could come up with a good title that includes everything that you have read first and last sentence of the paragraph, you are very close to do the big picture question, even without seeing the answer choices. Dahlia, the missing ugly. I'll see Dahlia's. Wait a minute here. Dahlia, the missing ugly half. Yeah, that's very journalistic. Okay. طيب. So you think of something like that, you know, like you can say artists who only see the beauty, something like that, or you know, like you can say you can go for pros and cons of whatever, seeing part of the art, seeing only the beautiful and ignoring or overlooking the ugly, something like that. And The main idea of what here, of the paragraph is what? Yalla, choose one. By the way, here we just have read the bookends, the first and last sentence. Waiting for your answer. Is it the greatest art, or the greatest art is created to represent things, the world thinks are ugly? Of course, no. B, there are not enough beautiful things in the world for artists to paint only them. Artists should focus not only on what appears beautiful right away, but also on what does not. The experience of waiting in nature for beauty makes artists, of course, this one was not there. Thank you. Are you convinced with C or no? Avoiding traps. Avoid traps. And I think this is what, I bet, this is what you are looking for. And you say, what, teacher, we need traps. But again, we need flexibility more than traps. But in spite of the fact, we have got some really good traps here. By taking a second to predict an answer, you have already protected yourself from 90% of the SAT's trap answers. Wrong answer designed to lure you in by looking like right answers. But you can get that up to 100 by looking for wrong words and learning to recognize classic traps. What does mean classic traps? Typical traps, typical of its kind. Looking for long words. And what I want you to do now is what? Is to figure out and to spot the words that are wrong, the words that have nothing to do with what? With the big picture question. We need to be practical. For example, here, look at this one. Let us look, or let us work through an example together. And here, the central claim of the paragraph 2 is above is that. The central claim of paragraph 2 above is that. What I want people, it's a paragraph, right? We are not going to change what we talked about. And in a paragraph like that, it's not an introduction, ya Nagi, it's not a conclusion, ya Malik. What I need to do is to hit the bookends. How can I hit the bookends? I'm going to read this part and I'm going to what? Do it here. Till value, and then I believe till the end of what? Till the end of the paragraph. And I'm just going to read it. And I'm going to skip this part. I don't need it when it comes to what? To general questions. Main idea. With the facts of the subject that he, the artist, has nothing to do but with its appearance only, and appearance is a matter of light and shade, of masses, of position, and of value. I believe that in every 24 hours, what is beautiful looks ugly, and what's ugly looks beautiful once. And then the question is, the central claim of the paragraph is that. Would you choose, please? Would you choose, please? سي حد قال لي سي سي معلش انتوا حد يقول سي كله سي طب معلش wait a minute. What we have read here يا شباب عشان بس الناس الله يخليكم تهدى شويه بقى ان احنا هنا يا شباب in the first part, in the first sentence of the paragraph, hitting the bookends here and hitting the bookend and the last paragraph, did we read appearances often hide the true beauty or ugliness? Yes, it's true that we read about appearance. It's true that we read about artists. But it's not true that we have read about hiding the true beauty. حد يطلع لي دي من الباسج خلاص كده نتراهن مع بعض. مش من كل الباسج يا شباب. This one here. With the facts of the object, so object is there. The artist had nothing to do but with its appearance only. And appearance is a matter of light and shade, of masses, position, and of value. وهنا, I believe that in every 24 hours, what is beautiful looks ugly, and what's ugly looks beautiful. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take this one. Let us go for A. Artists can find the beauty and ugliness in all sorts of objects by placing them in different studio settings. And that's very specific. Even if it is there, ya Nuran, in the body paragraph. And the general words that we have it here, we have got artists, that's fine. We have got the beauty and ugliness, that's fine. All sorts of objects, that's fine. But different studio settings, even if it is there in the middle, that doesn't make it what? A general question. You understand? So in that case, we'll go for A, no. Mr. What about D? Artists have a responsibility to focus on effects rather than causes as they attempt to show beauty in the world. And I say, show beauty in the world, it was there. Artists have a responsibility. We have got artists. But is it to focus on effects rather than causes? This one, that was very specific, so it wasn't there. So I'm not going to go for it. But I'll go for by manipulating, controlling the surroundings of an object, artists can capture the beauty in ugly things and the ugliness in beautiful things. And I think this meaning, it was there. With the facts of the object, the artist had nothing to do but with its appearance only. And appearance is a matter of value. And then here, I believe that in every 24 hours, what is beautiful looks ugly, and what's ugly looks beautiful. Even if you don't understand, you have to go for what? For B, all the parts of the answer are quite general. You understand? The last part that we're going to do today for the big picture question is know the common traps. In general, the SAT is both tricky and predictable. Sort of what? Sort of paradoxical. It tries to trick you, but it also tends to use the same types of trap answers over and over. They are using them over and over. We will use a hypothetical passage to go over the most common types of trap answers on big picture questions. Okay? Let us imagine we are going through a passage talking about what? How human evolution shaped the environment. How, تخيلوا الباسج كده، الباسج عندي يا لبنى. How human evolution shaped the environment. One question the test may ask what the main point is or what's the main claim of the passage. A correct answer might be what? How humans shaped the environment. That's fine, as they evolved. The follow list gives examples of some classic wrong answer choices. What are the following? If your answer is too specific, like the transition between Homo habilis and Neanderthals. For me, that's very specific. I'm not going to go for it. The answer is too broad. The study of evolution. Very broad kind of what? Kind of main idea. Incorrect relationship. How the environment shaped human what? Evolution. How the environment shaped human evolution. Of course, it is almost the opposite of what? How human evolution shaped the environment. Or not the opposite, quite different, quite incorrect what? Relationships. And the last one, unrelated concept. The plausibility of evolution, the practicality of evolution, which wasn't even there here. So a question like that, even by reading the blurb, the short snippet in the beginning of each passage, you will find out that these traps, you tell yourself, I am aware of these traps and I can simply avoid them. This is how people should what? Should think. Be mature when you deal with what? Big picture questions. We will stop here.